tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja. Kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Kenya.
Well, hello there and welcome to the greatest show in agriculture right here on KTN Home and KTN Farmers TV. My name is Kelvin Nyakundi, and of course I'm joined by our very inspiring co-host Marion.
Kama kawaida niko hapa for the second, is it the second or the fourth time?
This is the fourth time.
Jamani, samahani, Now, yes. This is the fifth time we are having this show, and we come to you live on KTN Home and KTN Farmers TV. Now, by the way, hii wiki kuna kitu yenye niliona, na haikunibamba.
Nini haikukubamba?
Unacheki kitu. This is an onion.
Yes.
Says kama hii unaweza get na 30 bob. You can imagine 10 bob inatoshana aje.
Kwani wewe una shop wapi wewe?
Akisi mambo ya kushop walai. Actually, that is what he will be talking about even on Agri News. And that will be leading us to the topic of discussion, that is getting it right from the start. Ndio maana usiuzie ati wakulima wako ama wateja wako onion kama hii 30 bob. Surely that is not fair. That is not fair. But as for now, Nyakundi, wiki yako kwanza ilikuwaje before tuanze?
Mimi wiki imekuwa fiti, imekuwa poa. So kumekuwa na developing issues especially on seeds, on fertilizer. So tutakuwa tunaangalia hiyo pia kwa news.
Exactly.
And also when it comes to getting it right. Ni nini yenye tunafanya wrong yenye inafaa kukua at least kukorektiwa.
Na leo naona utakuwa na mrembo.
Don't say. Tumintroduce sahi.
Hapana.
Sawa.
Tumpatie tu time yake.
Yes.
Unajua napelekwa tu polepole, si ndio?
Pole.
Atuambie na rieng vile inafaa. Atuambie venye anang'ara kwa story ya agriculture.
Especially when it comes to value
addition.
Exactly.
But as for now, let us see what is making headlines on Agri News.
Right, welcome to Agri News. Now, Bayer East Africa is collaborating with farmers and community groups in Kenya to empower farmers with knowledge to boost food production in the country. Now, Rumuruti, Mwea, Kajiado, and Bita are hubs that have been set for disseminating information and practices aimed at promoting sustainable farming methods for agricultural productivity.
For us, our interest is the farmer. We want to eradicate hunger in as much as we're able to do it. But we want also to ensure that farmers have got, health, living conditions back in their farms, back in their homes. By doing that, we have invested a lot in terms of research and development to ensure that we bring to the farmers products and materials that are able to produce high, but also tolerate some diseases. At the same time, also give them some good yield for their families and for their businesses. We've been able to reach close to 8,000 farmers within 1.5 years through our centers of excellence. These are concepts that is being implemented to ensure that we are closer to the farmers as much as possible. This alone has been able to bring on board both aspiring farmers and progressive farmers together.
Chenye kiliweza kufanya nirudi ya pili, kuna mbegu ambayo nilikuja nikasoma last time, though si kusoma sana, 9709, na nina expect hiyo ndio yangu ya kwanza. Nitaka kuona venye imefanya, na ninatumaini ninapotoka hapa niipate kwa my stockist, nitaweza kuweza kujaribu, kwa sababu nimeona ni kubwa, na ikizaa mbili naona mapato ni zaidi ya hata.
Now, 10 of flower farm workers and their school-going children in Naivasha have been hit by yet another tragedy after another school in the flower-growing region was closed down. Now, Karuturi Secondary became the second school to close its doors in a span of 3 months, putting the future of over 200 students at stake, even as parents prepared for the second term. Now, the closure follows the move by a receiver manager who took over Karuturi Flower Farm to sell all the assets of the farm that at one time employed over 3,000 workers. Now, the closure of the school that for over 8 years has been run by parents comes a couple of months after the nearby Oserian Secondary School that was also run by a flower farm closed down.
Cha kusikitisha sana kwamba ni wazazi wengine waliotoa wanafunzi wao kutoka Oserian wakawaleta hapa, wamesoma miezi miwili ama mitatu, kuanzia Januari, sasa hivi ni April. Sasa hizi tena hii shule inafungwa. So ni jambo ambalo hata linahangaisha wanafunzi, it is torturing even the concentration of wanafunzi. Haswa yule aliyebadilishwa sasa ako hapa tena anaambiwa tena abadilishwe. For sure, seriously speaking, kama mwalimu tunaona kwamba hawa watoto tuna intervene ama tuna interfere with their education.
Tunataka tujue hatima yetu, watoto wetu watasoma aje juu shule inafungwa, na shule inafungwa tu, yani inafungwa tu ni kama tu kushtuliwa tu, wazazi tukua tumejipanga. Sasa tunataka tuambiwe saa hizi katikati ya mwaka tutapeleka watoto wetu wapi shule.
Sema walikaa pamoja Ministry of Education na Karituri Limited hiyo receiver, na wakaongea ya kwamba shule inafungwa. Na kulingana venye nyinyi wenyewe mnajua siku hizi system imebadilishwa education. Kutransfer mtoto is a very big problem. Ya kwamba unaweza pata sahi mtoto alisa register hapa, utapeleka yeye shule ingine namna gani? Unajua hiyo inatu confuse na tumekuwa stranded kabisa.
Now, pastoral communities have benefited with more than 370 million shillings from carbon credits thanks to the Northern Rangelands conservation efforts. Now, the funds, which are expected to benefit about 14 community conservancies from the counties of Isiolo, Samburu, Marsabit and Laikipia, will be utilized in infrastructural development, education support for needy students, and ease access to water through the sinking of boreholes in those 4 counties. Now, the move is aimed at bolstering economic sustainability through environment conservation. Speaking during the launch of the 3rd of the Community Carbon Funds by Northern Rangelands Trust in Nanyuki, Laikipia Governor Joshua Irungu lauded the communities in the 4 counties, noting that their continued effort in conservation was beneficial in the region.
Wakichukua cheki, makofi kwa ile haipendi carbon, lakini ni moshi tu bila shaka.
Chairman Group Ranches kuja hapa.
Chairman Group Ranches.
Sisi tuko na furaha sana kwa sababu tuliweza kulaunch the 3rd carbon conservancy funds. Ile furaha ambayo tuko nayo kama region pamoja na governor katika region yetu ambayo iko Laikipia, tuko na conservancy 5 ambazo conservancy ambayo leo tumeshuhudia, ambayo pesa imelaunchiwa na itaenda kwa community kufanya development za community.
Tuko hapa tukiwa na furaha ya kwamba tumepokea out of the money that have been given today, the 379 Laikipia County, tumepokea check ya over 12 million Kenya shillings ile itarudi kule Laikipia North ndio iweze kusaidia mambo ya maji, ndio iweze kuendelea na kuchagia miradi ya wananchi kutoka kule Laikipia North.
Hizi pesa imefaidi community zaidi kwa sababu tuliweka kwa bursaries ambayo hapo wale watoto wetu walikuwa wamekosa kwenda shule kwa sababu ya jirani na mali mingi imekufa, watoto wakatoroka shule. But tangu tupate hii pesa ya carbon, watoto wamerudi shule kwa sababu tunawalipia.
Now, residents of the drought-prone Shela village in Chakama location, Malindi, Kilifi County, are set to benefit from an 85 million litre water pan being constructed by the National Irrigation Authority. Now, during the groundbreaking ceremony for its construction, area residents led by Grace Bayu and Chakama location Chief Raymond Charo expressed their gratitude. They stated that the 29 million shilling water pan will significantly reduce the time they spend searching for water, which is currently several kilometers away along the river Galana.
tumeweza kupitisha mradi mzuri wenye ambao unaweza kusaidia wananchi wa hapa Shela Kakoneni. Ni bwawa la maji lenye ambalo kama vile engineer alivyotuelezea litachukua muda wa miezi mitatu ili kuweza kujengwa na kuweza kuwekwa sawa sawa, na wanakijiji wa eneo lote hili wataweza kufaidika na mradi huo, wenye ambao probably tunaangalia ni kitu ambacho kinaweza kuhold around 85 million liters of water.
Mradi huu ni wa kunyunyiza maji mashamba. Hata hivyo utakuwa na sehemu ndogo ya kusaidia wanakijiji kwa maji ya matumizi ya nyumbani na vile maji ya matumizi kwa mifugo. So tutajenga cattle trough na pia communal water point ili wanakijiji wapate kuchota maji.
Ni mradi mwema ambao tunatarajia kwamba utasaidia wakaji wa Shela, Jilore Kakoneni sublocation, Jilore location na tuseme division mzima kwa pamoja.
Now, have you bought onions of late? How were the prices? Now, well, the March inflation dropped to 5.7% from 6.3% recorded in February, driven by lower food and fuel inflation. Now, in spite of the positive change, onion prices marked a 65.5% increase during vegetable inflation, which stood at 9%.
You can see that vegetable inflation was 9%. This was a decline from 9.7% the previous month. But all of it, as you can see, is really accounted for by inflation of prices of onions. Onion inflation was contributed to 9.2 percentage points of that 9%. So it actually contributed even more than the overall contribution of vegetable inflation to the overall inflation. In fact, onion prices have risen by 65.5% this year, and this has reflected reduced domestic supply and production, as well as reduced production in Tanzania. So going forward, we hope the higher prices will incentivize increased production of onions, both in Kenya and Tanzania, and that this high contribution of onions to vegetable inflation will decline over the coming months.
Now, Kenya is attracting foreign investors, the latest being a 3 billion animal feed plant mill in Athi River, Machakos County. Now, it is set to be operational by 2025. The plant mill by DHAS is expected to produce high-quality animal feeds and advance sustainable agriculture, lowering the cost of feed for Kenyan farmers.
We believe that the animal sector will grow in Kenya, the population will grow, and more nutritional, affordable, healthy food is needed for the country. And we can play a role in providing that to the Kenyan population by giving them, by giving the farmers the proper feed and helping them to develop and grow their farms.
The county, we are also working hard to improve the breed of our animals, because most of the animals we have here, we have milk and we also have the beef animals. So it is really going to work well for our farmers. And also, you've heard me telling the company, it is very important for them to engage the farmers on the feed.
Now, the Kenya Veterinary Association has called for a crackdown on fake animal feed and semen. Now, according to Kelvin Osore, who is aspiring to be the chairperson, Kenya Veterinary Association, the infiltration of fake fertilizer and drugs in the market is affecting consumers of farm produce. Hence, there was a need to also equip the Kenya Veterinary Board, KVD, and the Kenya Veterinary Medicines Directorate so that they can have enough manpower to enforce the law of fake drugs and fertilizer.
The government crackdown on illicit drugs is really a story that I think is long overdue. Even we as veterinary professionals acknowledge that we've had a misuse of veterinary drugs such as xylazine that has found its way in the wrong hands in the country. So we support the government's crackdown on illicit drugs and other substances. The only issue we have is that for sustained efforts and sustained success in this fight, the government needs to take track of the achievements and the efforts put in place by various agencies. We shouldn't have a crackdown that aims to harass veterinarians.
Well, that is all we had for you on Agri News, and I leave you with Sauti ya Mkulima. Our team was on the ground, and this is what the youth had to say.
My name is Anita. We do farming at Shago, not in Nairobi. Where I come from, we plant maize, so I know most about maize and potatoes and cabbages. That's what we farm. Okay, it's affecting, especially in our regions, it's affecting us because most people are targeting those area. This fake fertilizer is targeting those area because, like we know, the maize, where people are planting maize, it comes from Rift Valley and Western, part of Western in Kitale, Chelanganyi. So when a fake product came to the picture, of course it will target where the farmer are doing good. So it's affecting, it has already affected people in Kitale, Western region, and part of, since it came from, I heard it came from Naivasha. So it started at Rift Valley and then went to Kitale. So most farmers are complaining about it. I saw it on social media. There was a farmer who was complaining about fake fertilizer. But for us so far, I've not had the issue, I've not encountered with it, so I don't even know how it looks like. I just saw it on social media. It's affecting the farmers because if we look at today's economy, people don't have money. We work on budgets. So when we hear about the cheaper thing, of course people will go for it and you spend what you have. And then you will end up not having the original thing since you go for the fake one. Yeah, so definitely it's going to affect a lot of farmers. And me, what I can tell these people is stop going for cheaper things. You better buy one bag at costly than go for the cheaper one and then you end up losing. Actually, on my case, I don't go for good deals because you have to think. When something has a good deal, you have to think twice. Like when we were told fertilizer, a bag of fertilizer goes for around 8,000 to 6,000, and then this one goes for 2,500. Of course, you have to question yourself. But I heard there's this government that are giving the fertilizer with a budget. So me, I normally follow the procedure, so I won't end up being fraud.
For the youth that are in agriculture, my advice is them. I know they are enlightened. I know they all that, and maybe they are using. Maybe they could be using even fertilizers from. What I will advise is that for them, they should also seek for, apart from what they know, what after ile nini kusoma from these agriculture people. I know sometimes they come even go to the villages na kufundisha watu on how to do farming. So there's safe farming that they can do if they can get some more enlightening some more education from agricultural departments or any other thing, any other department that is dealing with agriculture. So from them at least they will be able to produce safe food for us.
For instance, there's a case where I buy this Colado Skuma fertilizer, but the date has been expired. So it took me time. When I plant, I didn't check the logo. After that, then I confirmed that the fertilizer has been not fertilizer, sorry, the seedlings have been expired. So it took me and went back. They compensated, but those ones I'll get lost. I let lost of them because all of them they didn't germinate. So my advice to them is that they should be very keen. And this advertising some of them in online are scam. So they shall go to the right approved agrovet where they can satisfy their good seeds which are good for the farm and even for their areas. Yes.
Kwa majina naitwa Douglas Mutinda. Sasa kulingana na hiyo swali, kivyangu venye na preserve fruits ama vegetables. Naenda tu sokoni nachukua zenye zinakaa hazina yani midudu kama ile worms in case of kwa nyanya unaangalia zenye hazijatoboka, zenye hazijashikwa na zile vitu zinaitwaje sama ama vidonda hivi kwa hizo nyanya. Unaenda unapika zenye ziko karibu kuharibika, hizo zingine unaweka unatumia for future.
That was what has been making headlines when it comes to Agri news. And remember, by the way, you need to tweet us. You need to retweet our tweets at KTN Home _ at Marion _ the Agri producer, and Kelvin. Yako ni gani?
At Kelvin _ Nyakundi.
Umesikia. So to keep a conversation started ongoing, iflow, igo, kaende, kakiendanga. But as for now, tunaenda tu kula matunda kiasi, tunakam tu sai, usiende, katu hapo, tunakam.
Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kukulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya. Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kukulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
Alright, welcome back. Tulikuwa tunakula matunda, but imeslap tu kidogo hivi. Marion will be telling us about that after. But now we want to get to a segment here, Youth in Agriculture, where we are looking at one, Caleb Ndolo, who is dealing in seeds. And Marion, dealing na seeds za aina gani when it comes to maneno ya seeds?
Unakumbuka ile episode tulifanya ya karada?
Ya karada.
Yes, na kama hujaicheki, please enda YouTube, KTN Home ama Farm Kenya, you'll find the footage there na hata utaweza kukarada. So huyu youth alinibamba sana juu yeye anakarada sana. He's a certified seedling vendor. That is, anafanya his own seedlings, anazipanda kwa greenhouse, then sasa he's able to transplant them or even sell them to other farmers.
Wow,
yeah.
Very interesting.
Na si fake manzi, ni legit.
Na sasa when it comes to how ana package, because unajua tukiongea juu ya seeds, we usually look at a seed, hiyo packet ya seed inafaa kuwa na nini na nini na nini. Huwa ana follow hizo regulations zote.
Yeah, kitu ya kwanza kifika tu kwa agrovet, ni hiyo sticker, ni kusend SMS kwa hiyo code nyiko kwa hiyo sticker after ame scratch before hata ubuy, Then after that ukishapata confirmation kutoka NCPB ama Ministry of Agriculture, wewe unaenda kwa shamba unapanda, unafurahia kama sisi hapa kwenye show.
That's nice. So wacha tuangalie what Caleb is bringing for us today.
Hello and welcome to Youth in Agriculture. My name is Marion Munyao Nganga. Now, today's discussion is not new on this show because we have read your feedback of which you're grateful for, and we will be talking about seedlings. Yes, to answer all of your questions as per our previous shows that you have been having last year. Today's farmer is unique. different and inspiring. He is Caleb Ndolo, CEO and founder of Zion Seedlings, located here in Juja, Kiambu County. And imagine he paid part of his school fees in high school through seedling farming business. You'll get to know about that in a bit, but for now, karibu sana kwenye show. Caleb, karibu sana kwenye show.
Asante.
Now, for the viewers who do not know you, what is the meaning rather of the name Zion Seedling?
Zion Seedlings, it's a name derived from the Bible, especially the Zion part, when it talks of a perfect place. It's a perfect place for all those who believe in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
When Christ comes, all the believers will be united in Zion, in perfect place. But for others, it's just Jerusalem. But for me, I'm interested in that perfect place. And so we are producing perfect seedlings for the farm. Yes.
That perfect seedling part, we're going to get there in a bit. But first, give us a brief history of how you got yourself to owning, this number of seedlings that are here with us today.
Well, we began here around 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's when we came here. But the story began a long time ago.
We are ready for it.
Oh, you are ready for it?
Yes, we are.
Well, as I told you, after graduating, it's when I did my internship. And then through my internship, I got to learn about these things. I was in JKUAT. There's a student club called HOSA, Cultural Student Association, and we used to do some of these things. So from there, I learned all these skills, even as I was doing my undergraduate in JKUAT. So from there, when I finished my studies, I did my internships. I now started my own small nursery somewhere. I was not here actually. I started with 25 trays. That was someone's plot where I'd rented. And then from there, the owner decided now it was time to build. That was in 2020. I closed it, and then I waited again for a period of 2 years. Then from there is when I came here. I rented this land, and I started this nursery. We started with around 25 trays. Then it's only that we have been growing. I mean, as more customers come in, we expand. Now we have this capacity. We have these 2 greenhouses doing all the different vegetables. Yes.
Of course, we'll get to mention what are all the different vegetables that you're talking about, but I'm interested in your background. Background when you're in primary, background when you are a child. Were you a type of child who was really interested in farming? Or is this something that maybe you saw after KCC results were released, you're like, sina option, nimerusha huko?
Well, for me, I grew up in a farm. Actually, my mom was a farmer. She was a very hardworking farmer, known in our village. She's known for that. And then from there, I had that interest. Actually, this seedling we are doing, I remember I used to do them back home. And I sold them to my high school. I remember I paid fees actually.
With this?
With the seedlings. So this is something I began a long time ago, even when I was young, that was in high school.
Yeah.
And the nursery had begun after Form 4, after Class 8. That's when I began, because I spent 1 year after Class 8 before joining secondary. So at that time, I started my own nursery. When I joined Form 1, I was still operating my nursery. So at a point, I sold some seedling to my former high school. Yeah. Yes.
And this is what made you pay your fees in high school?
Yeah, part of it. There's a time actually I paid fees with it, the seedlings.
How much were you earning back then?
Well, remember the fees I was paying back then, we used to pay around 5,000. I was in a day school. So
Which one is this, by the way?
The
Which
school,
Yeah.
Kai.
Oh.
It's in Makindu. Yeah, actually Kai Secondary School. It's
Yeah.
called Shane Star Kai Secondary School.
Big shout out to Kai Secondary School in Makindu, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. So it was actually one of the term I paid for a term using my money from the seedlings. Yes. And then I knew there is money even in farming. Though for me coming to do agriculture actually was not more of making money. The idea is to empower the farmer with the knowledge and the skills I learned through the way. Because remember Ukambani, it's a bit dry.
I'm from there.
You are from there.
I know. I relate.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, growing up, looking at how, especially with changes in climate and all that, the yield has reduced drastically. And as an expert in that area, I believe it's just a few things done. If a few things are done right, we could be getting a good yield from even the rains we are getting from that area. So that's why I chose agriculture, because I wanted to help the farmer back home, because most of them are farmers. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bado niko kwa ile story ya wewe kuzizi vitu ukiwa high school. That is the seedlings, of course. What kind of elements or requirements did you have at that time? Because I can imagine, was Cocoa Pit really reaching Ukambani then?
No. Actually, I had not known about Cocoa Pit by that time. I was just soil, the normal soil. Yes. And I had fruit and tree seedling nursery. Yes.
Oh, so it wasn't like the vegetable seedlings
Yeah.
that you have now.
So that was a tree and fruit seedlings. Yes.
And of course, you've mentioned your mother was a good farmer, a well-renowned farmer in Ukambani.
Yes.
Now, what kind of method of farming was she using? Was it like the normal transplantation that you're doing right now, or what? How was she going about it?
No, for her it's the conventional farming. It's not this advanced. Remember, she's just a normal farmer out there, and the normal kind of farming, they don't adopt this kind of system, especially for the crops we are doing there. Remember, it's maize, beans, pigeon pea. Yes. So they are not these crops, but we intend to take this technology back at home.
Definitely.
Yes, that is the target. Yes. Yeah.
There's no farmer who was doing vegetables like spinach, kumawiki?
Well, growing up, if you have been to Makindu, there is a river that flows around that area. So there was production of these vegetables. But at that time, I think this technology had not been introduced. Remember, it's coming in 2013. It's when people, like farmers, are adopting this kind of system of farming. So there was production of those vegetables. Yeah, because as I was growing up, I know Makindu, it was well known, even doing exports and all that. But now, because the river dried and it is not being done at large scale at this moment. There are just a few farmers who are doing it. And actually, we are supplying seedling back home because we have farmers who are doing it using drip irrigation. They have boreholes. So we have farmers who are doing it, and we normally send the seedling to them. Yes.
Being a farmer who started farming, of course, at a very early age, comparing the kind of technology that has been currently introduced in the agribusiness sector, what importance does having seedling propagation hold to a farmer as compared to planting the seed directly into the soil and allowing it to have a nursery bed and then later on putting it now to the mainland? What is the difference and how important is it?
Well, for the farmers doing it for themselves at the farm, you realize they end up losing a lot of seedlings. And because they are doing on soil, once they transplant, they lose many seedlings at the farm. When you compare to this, there's a chances you may not lose. At the highest end, maybe you will have 98% success rate. Maybe you lose just a few, maybe because of pest. But a seedling living a nursery, especially propagated in this way, you are assured
Mhm.
the success is quite high. And also remember, we are taking care of this seedling for almost a month. So the farmer has enough time to prepare the land and just to receive the seedling when it's right. And you will not spend a lot, maybe of keeping like a farmhand at the farm. So the guys who are helping him to manage, they will come in just during at the period of transplanting. Take for example like onion.
Onion.
Yes, if you are doing your own propagation at the farm, you have around 6 weeks. You will have to pay someone to manage it for you and all that.
Of course.
But now, if you are coming for the ready seedling,
Yeah.
you don't have to incur that expense, you see.
Yeah.
The other thing is, remember some of the seeds are quite expensive now, especially for example for home. A seed is costing at 13.5 shillings currently. And now if a farmer who has no experience goes and propagates it and loses that seed, so that's quite a huge loss. Yeah, especially actually I encountered some of the farmers who had bought those expensive seeds and they ended up losing them. Because the other seeds which are higher, they are more expensive than that. Look for example cherry tomato, a seed is going up to 30 shillings per seed. And now if you lose 1,000 seeds, you have lost around 23 to 30,000.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are reducing the risk at farm level for us providing that service of propagation and also cutting the period the farmer will have with that crop almost to 1 month, because we take care of the seedling from one month. Yes.
Now, let's talk about the kind of vegetables that you have here. Which ones are they?
Well, currently we are doing around 15 vegetables. We have capsicum, we have tomato, we have gourget, we have cucumber, we have broccoli. Broccoli. I'm looking for which one to go first. Broccoli, cauliflower, red cabbage, skuma, Swiss chard. Yes, those are some of the vegetables we have. Or should I list all of them? Yes, we still have beetroot, eggplant. Yes, we have pak choy, Chinese cabbage. Yes.
Kwa wale ambao wajui Swiss chard ni nini, it's a type of vegetable that resembles a spinach, you know. Yes, but it is usually yellow in color and red in color. Am I wrong?
Yellow, yeah, there are those varieties.
There are those varieties. You've heard it from the mkulima himself. Now, I've seen on your page, you also have spices and herbs.
Yes.
You haven't mentioned them. Which ones are they?
Oh, yeah. We have rosemary, we have thyme, we have sage, we have mint and thyme. So those are the herbs that we have in currently.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, okay. Now, all these seedlings under one roof in a greenhouse, how do you get to manage them?
And our greenhouse, if you look well, you realize we have arranged them in different areas, and also even the condition inside the greenhouse.
Yeah.
We have areas where we have the shade net and where we don't have the shade net, because here it's a bit cooler, there it's different. As I told you, we do hardening here, so that's why we don't have the shade net here, and here we have the shade net, because this year we do after seeding, after sowing the seeds, we bring them here. Then from here is when they are ready to harden, we transfer them there. Yes, and also we do something called scouting to identify diseases, pests and all that. Then when there is need, we do the sprays. Yeah, we don't have a blank program, because I'm an agriculturalist. Myself, I do the work of doing the scouting, identifying the diseases and pests. Then we end up spraying the right product to contain that pest or disease. Yes.
I like what you've mentioned about positioning. Kindly take us through. Are the ones on this side the youngest, and these ones are the ones when ni matini kidogo? Those ones are the ones that are ready. Take us through how you've arranged them here.
Yes. For this one,
Yeah.
these are the ones which we just did the sowing 1 week ago, and you can see they have already germinated, and we have put them under the shade because they are too young. We cannot expose them to high temperatures and other conditions which are too harsh. So that's why you see them under this shade net. Then from here is when we are going to move them there, where we have more sunlight and more radiation and all that.
How old are these ones?
These are 1 week.
Oh, same as these ones?
Yes.
They look different, you know. These ones are a bit taller. You
see the
sprouting
media,
imeanza kufanyika.
the media is different. Oh, actually the difference is around 4 days from this and this.
Yeah,
and also you can look, we have a different in media.
Yeah.
So the performance also will be different because of the different medians.
Which is the difference in terms of the media?
Well, this media contain cocoa peat and vermiculate.
What?
Vermiculate.
Vermiculate, what's that?
That's a media used in propagation of seedling. Actually, it's extracted from a rock and exfoliated under high temperatures.
Yeah.
Then we use it to ensure there is aeration on our seedlings. Yeah, and this is more of cocoa peat.
Cocoa peat alone without the vermiculate.
Yeah, the ratio is too small, especially for the vermiculate.
Yeah, because it has some of it on top.
Yeah, so we are playing with, we are working on the ratios of the two medias. Yes.
How many seedling holes are here? Seed
200.
holes. Should I use the word seed holes or seedling holes?
Yeah, just the same. It's around 200.
Yeah, 200 of them.
Yes, yes.
Wow. What is the assured germination percentage?
Well, it depends with different crops.
Yeah.
For tomato, we can get up to 98. For capsicum, and can get up to 60 to 70.
Yeah.
Depending on also the variety. Actually, it depends on the variety. Because for hybrids, I get up to 98. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, these seedlings that you have here, first of all, is it advisable to have all of them next to each other, considering the fact that they do attract different pests and diseases, or they do not matter at that stage?
Well, as I've said, this is germination area.
Yeah.
So at this point, this seedling will be transferred to different sections. Yes, so they will not be at the same area like you see them here. So they are going to be transferred under the other greenhouse, under different sections. Yes.
Now, I can see you have the yellow stickers. Of what importance are they?
Well, remember when we are saying they are perfect seedlings, we want to ensure that they don't have pests.
Yeah.
So the yellow sticker, they help in trapping the insects, especially the white flies. Yes.
Why color yellow?
Well, yellow is known for trapping white flies, but we have other colors. For now, it's only that we have set up those ones. Yes.
According to my research, they attract the male white flies. When ulisoma, true or false?
For me, I cannot confirm or deny that.
Yeah.
But what I know, because it's more of lighting, for them when it comes to attraction, to trapping. What you are saying, there is another product which attracts the male, especially for tutor, it works on tomatoes. So it has a pheromone which attracts the males. Yes, and that helps introduce the breeding. Because if you kill all the males, there's no other generation which is coming up.
Kuna mkulima aliniambia, honestly speaking, the yellow color attracts the male. So, unaonaje? Please comment there and send us your feedback on our social media handles, of course, and we'll be able to know who is right. Now, you've talked about now the germination. How do you know that these ones are the These ones are the spinach rather. These ones are the skuma. What is the difference in terms of the size, the shape of the leaf, and the number of the leaves when they sprout?
Well, morphologically, you can identify, especially if you are an expert, you can see the difference, because if you compare this one and a tomato, they are totally different. Yes, but we do also do labeling. Some parts, especially when we are bringing new people, as we are, because we do also some training, so we do that labeling to help them identification. But in terms of the leaves, you can identify which is capsicum and which is tomato, because they are totally different. So for us, what we normally do when people come in, new people come in, we train them on that, on identification, yeah, based on the leaf morphology and other parameters too. Yes.
Okay, now, what are the challenges that you face as you do the propagation of seedlings?
Well, diseases, that's also a challenge. That's one of the challenge we normally get under greenhouse, like poultry. If you don't contain it early, you may end up losing your plants. And also pests, like mites, could be also, it's also a challenge. So we have to keep on spraying and then doing scouting to ensure that we contain things like aphids, white flies, mites, among other pests. Yes, those are the main challenges in terms of managing the crop. Yes.
Now, if I am a farmer and I want to start this propagation of seedlings, how much do I really need?
It depends with the size of the nursery you want to set up.
Yeah.
But for me, I believe if you have 100K, you can start somewhere with that. Yes, it can kickstart you, because maybe you can do a training with 10,000. You can invest around 50 in the structure greenhouse, small one.
50 seedling trees.
Yes.
That will give me 200 seeds times how many? 50. That's how much? So that I can know how many number of seedlings will I be working with.
Oh, okay. If you, let's say, get 100 trays.
Yeah.
And so that is around 20,000 seedlings you will be producing at that given time.
Okay.
But one thing, you should consider the market, because they can end up overgrowing your structure. So the most important thing is the market, where to sell them. Actually, before you begin any propagation,
Tafuta soko kwanza.
Tafuta soko kwanza, kisikurambe.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, where can farmers get you?
Well, we are online on all social media platforms. In Facebook, we are Zion Seedling. Instagram is Zion Seedling. X, that is former Twitter, is Zion Seedlings. And also we have our website, where you can just order and we deliver and you pay there, and you get, that is www.zionseedlings.co.ke. And also they can reach us also via our contacts. That is 0724 47 1075. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us. It has been great. And thank you so much for the insights, of course.
Welcome.
Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Kenya. Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Kenya.
All right, welcome back to Farm Kenya show right here on KTN Home and KTN Farmers. Now, today we have amazing ladies with us, and we have Fiona Morema, who is a co-founder Nature's Best, and also Lynn Odiwa from Nature's Best as well. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right, and let's just get it right into the conversation. You thought about agriculture, you thought about vegetables, you thought about all this, and then you decided value addition is the way to go. First of all, when you talk about nature's best, what do you usually do in terms of adding value to these different crops or products that we have?
So first and foremost, Nature's Best is a women-led social enterprise where we aggregate women rural smallholder farmers back in Kisii and Migori. That is where our CBO is signed and located. So we grouped women farmers who are the ones who farm the vegetables. Then we buy directly from them, so to cut off the middle brokers.
Okay.
Because most of the time when you buy from the brokers, you get to give them a lot of money, and the farmer is being
Ends up being, yeah.
Exactly. So when we are buying directly from them with the amount that we buy from the brokers, now they get to benefit, they get to improve their livelihoods, they get to even have that heart of farming because they know there is ready market outside there.
Okay.
Yes. So we're back in the city. We have women from Mukuru Kayaba slums. We are the ones that we are working with them. We've trained them. We are working with them in we've trained them to value add these vegetables, the pulses, the chilies. Yeah, so they're the ones that we are impacting and working with in Nairobi. So we are not just, they're not just working for us. They have been trained how to do this. So sometimes there are people even who have opened businesses from working with us over a period of time. Then somebody feels like their experience or they can do something from what they have learned from us.
Okay.
Then they open a business aside. You know, like Mukuru Kayaba slums, it's not a good environment actually for them. So most of them are have that vision, and we help them in any way that we can for them to start a business with the little that we have so that they can elevate. But basically, it's like we are empowering women besides creating value to these vegetables and nourishing the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Lynn, let me bring you in as well. From what Fiona has said, when you look at working with smallholder farmers who are women, and in Migori and also in Kisii, how has it been from when you started working with them up to now, and now that you're working with even different women from also Mukuru Kayaba, the way she has also explained, how is it working with women who are in the rural areas and trying to teach them or trying to guide them in different ways in which they can value add?
Okay, for us, we say at Nature's Best, we are creating a community around our local foods.
Okay.
Yes. So when you work with these women from the rural smallholder farmers, first of all, one issue that has been a challenge in the rural is the food waste, the lack of post-harvest handling and management. These are skills that they don't have because these are women probably who don't have the proper academic qualifications. So when we come in to help them reduce their food waste, because you see research says a third of food is always wasted before it gets to the table. And most of it is wasted at the farm level because most of these women, they don't have the experience on how to handle the post-harvest, the post-harvest management skills. They also don't have the machinery, the equipment, the knowledge, all of it. So when we come in, for them, they're women who have experience in farming, but now for us, we come in with the knowledge and then with the support as well, because we're still a small enterprise. We are not coming in like financially, but we partner with like agronomists, we partner with other organizations who are willing to give support. But on our side, we offer trainings, we teach them on how to handle these vegetables, because for us, we are specifically in the horticultural value chain and the cereals. So we teach them on how to manage these at the farm level before we get them. And then for them, they don't do the value addition. We've thought about engaging them to also take up value addition on their side, but now because of infrastructure, we've still not been able to get there. So far, we get the vegetables from them. They're brought to Nairobi. After getting to Nairobi, we do the value addition here in Nairobi. The semi-processing and semi-boiling of the vegetables. This is to make it easier for the community, the consumers within the peri-urban and the urban community within Nairobi and beyond are able to conveniently get healthy and nutritious foods at the same time.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Fiona, so value addition. Let's look at it even deeper, a little bit deeper. Of course, you've gotten the vegetables, you've sourced them and said, okay, these ones we are going to use them for a value addition. These ones maybe you're going to use them for other different things. So when you start the products, when you put the crops or the vegetables that you've gotten, what is the process that usually what do you go through in terms of selecting which one will be used for value addition and which one will not be used for value addition?
And actually that one is mostly, it starts from the farm because we have trained those women on the standards that we need. So from soil testing, from the quality, from controlled use of pesticides, we train all that. So most of the produces that come from the farm are always the A1 quality, the export quality. That is why she mentioned that we have partnered with agronomists. We've partnered with Farmers Media. They have been of great help to us. So they're the ones who take them through the process in our presence. So from there it comes to Nairobi, and then we have to sort them, we have to check them, we weigh them, then after that, and then we move on. Because most of the time, since when we started, we had that challenge that we couldn't know. You know, when you're starting a business, you're just starting. I mean, we didn't know about, the organic, there's the organic, and then there's the genetically modified. So actually, let me take you back. During COVID, we started in 2019. So when COVID hit, we were getting vegetables. Actually, the mom is the one who used to bring vegetables like a small sack. You know, when you're starting, you're clueless.
Yes.
It's like you're swimming in the ocean. So she brings, then we make imagine only 30 containers. Then we start selling. And we were like, wow, this thing is moving. Yeah, so we kept on, it was going on well. And most of the challenge that we had before was transport. Sometimes when it reaches to Nairobi, they are banned. So you don't have the money to start. And we were so broke.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly. So then when it reaches to Nairobi, you don't have anything to start. You don't know what to do. So the mom brings it again to Nairobi. Now because she's a mother. Now, and my kids want to start this. So she definitely should support.
Yes.
Yeah. So when they reach in Nairobi, we work on them. Then COVID hit. Now that was a blunder. We couldn't get vegetables because of lockdown. Yeah. So we decided to try vegetables from maybe in Nairobi and its environs. And when those vegetables came, definitely you could tell the difference immediately. So we even started experiencing vegetables going bad as opposed to the organic, because the organic vegetables, you can make them and leave them in the open air for a whole day and it will not go bad. So the challenge we had with this other one is that when you leave it in the open air, and we had cases of clients complaining the vegetables are stale. Yes. So that is when we closed down completely, and due to financial constraints and all that, we didn't even want to. I'm just taking you back.
Okay.
So we didn't even want to do this. So if somebody would say, can we do this? We were like, no, we can't do that. We had...
So let me interrupt a little. We had, at that moment, there were clients who are really... They loved what we were doing already, and then the quality, because it's not like we were the first people to begin doing this.
Yeah.
There are a few other people who have been doing, but again now for somebody to get the authentic vegetable, they want to experience that, what they would experience at the village level, just here conveniently. So during as we were doing that, when we decided that we were taking a break on these, there were clients who were like, please, can you just get back? Like now clients were even, our former clients were pushing us. Can you just get back? Because the quality of what you were giving them was unmatched.
Okay.
Yes.
And now the quality now comes also, I've picked a very important thing from what both of you have spoken about, the quality.
Yes.
So it means in order for you to get a good product at the end of the day, from what I've seen, the chilies that you have, you need to have something that is organic.
Yes. It starts from the farm.
Yeah. So at this time, now that you are here, because of course you closed down, but now you're here, you came back again, right?
Yes.
So how do you work with smallholder farmers in these different areas that you're working with? Maybe Migori, Kisii. How are you working with them in order for you now to bring this even to Nairobi for it to come out like this?
So the first time it was a challenge. So we had to go through someone in Kisii. You know, when you're going to talk to people back in the village, they'll think they're reserved. They'll think that these people are not from the village. What are they coming to do? So we had to pass through the chief. We had to pass through someone who will connect us to them. So we talked to them our plight, and they were like, okay, this is something that we can do. So when we went with them to the fields, so we were looking at farmers who have started doing farming these vegetables. We were not looking at, there are people who like gave up, there are people who did not start. And you know, when you're not in that capacity where you can fund people, we decided we are going to look for farmers who have already started and they don't have maybe the market, or they don't have the knowledge of how to scale their businesses. So we went from house to house. We were like, we started with 15 of them. Right now we have 57 farmers. So we have grouped them. They're in groups. So you speak to them, then they plant those vegetables, and then it's like a sequence. This one will plant this, the other one will plant this. So we'll harvest on this farm, then we'll harvest on the next farm the other time. It's like a rotation, so that we're not going to have bumper harvest at a go that we cannot handle.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, very well explained. And Lynn, let me bring you in as well. Now, we have the product. It needs to get to the market. Fiona mentioned about the transport challenges that you had before, but right now, where we are right now, how do you get to the market, and how do you make sure that your product is standing at a shelf somewhere? Because at the end of the day, someone who's watching will ask, okay, the product is here, how do they usually make sure that they get it to the market? And how do you stand out from maybe cartels, or maybe people who would want to get something a little from what you are producing?
Just as Fiona said, we have the farmers on the ground, and we have somebody like a representative. She is also a farmer, but now in charge of all of the other farmers. So we rely on her. We communicate frequently. So when the vegetables are ready, the products are ready, we communicate to her, and then we get there are these lorries, the lorries that carries fresh produce. So that is what we are currently working with, and so far so good. It's been going on very well. So the vegetables get here. Once they get here, we ensure there's the weighing process. We have a production unit where these women, this is now where the women from Mukuru Kayaba comes in, because now we work with them to do the value addition. The vegetables are sorted. After sorting, they are cleaned, they are chopped, and then they are pre-boiled. After pre-boiling, we use the cryo-freezing. And this is because we want to, people will always ask you, why would I go for this instead of going for something fresh direct from the market? But now using the technology of cryo-freezing is to maintain the quality, the texture, the nutrients, like nothing changes literally. Just after parboiling, we do the cryo-freezing, and then we pack it. It's packed and frozen. So this is easy for distribution, for it to get now to the market, to get to the shelves. We are not yet in, let's say, like retail outlets, but we have our the distribution unit where the walk-in clients would come and walk in and just choose the variety of vegetables, pulses, or whatever they want. And we also rely majorly on the digital platforms.
Yes, I've seen you people on social media.
Yes.
So that's also a really good platform, especially when it comes to selling, and also because from COVID, everyone went back to the digital platforms, right?
Yeah.
Right, so let us also look at another issue. Fiona, when it comes to the challenges in terms of marketing such a product, because very many people are doing it. The way Lynn said, very many people are in this kind of market. So how do you stand out from the rest? How do you make sure that your product, when someone sees your product, it's the one they only see? Like they can't say, okay, so let me just look for another one. So how do you, because I've seen you have mango chili, you have, I've never tasted that really. So I would really like to know, how do you stand out from the rest? How do you make sure that your product is unique from any other product?
So the first thing that she mentioned, since vegetables was the pioneer of our business, she has touched on the cryo-freezing. We didn't have this knowledge of cryo-freezing before. We used like to do the normal freezer. You keep on developing when you start on a business from scratch, you keep on developing. Like when the business keeps on creating the need, you keep on finding the solutions. So from the cryo-freezing, we tried the cryo-freezing and we tried with the freezer direct. And when you test the two, there's a difference. Like, okay, it's not like it's bad, but there's a difference in terms of quality, in terms of taste, and in terms of color. So when we sell to our clients will tell us that, okay, hata mimi nimenunua from Mudhurwa, nimetengeneza na high taste the same. Nimetoa ushago, nimetengeneza kama nyinyi, high taste the same. But now, actually, the biggest flex of preserving our vegetables is the cryo-freezing, where we use the CO2 that they use to preserve like Coca-Cola on top, like it's like spread on top of the vegetables. Then within minute it makes them like it can travel as far as like connecting 3 flights without going bad.
Okay.
Yes. So
I was about to ask what is cryo-freezing because I was very, she mentioned it and then I was like, okay, I'll ask later. So cryo-freezing, you've said you are trapping the CO2.
Yeah, the CO2. Yeah, we've partnered with Cabaseed.
Okay.
So we are the ones that we are working with them. So the CO2 is, I mean, I wish they would have asked me the photos and videos. I would have showed you the process. So the CO2 is spread and poured on top of the vegetables in the cryo freezer. It's like a huge commercial freezer. So once the CO2 is spread on top of them, so it makes them retain the texture. It makes them retain the taste and the texture of the vegetables. The quality remains the same. Like if you pluck it from the farm and you cook the one from the cryo freezer, it becomes fresh. And we've gotten a lot of compliments from clients when we started cryo freezing, and they were like, now this is something that we need to stick on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Lynn, I've seen we have githeri here. It's githeri, right?
It's githeri.
Yes. So also, now in terms of trying to value add on these other ones, you also have the githeri. So what is the concept behind this? Are you also making other different dishes aside from the value addition?
Okay, when we began with the vegetables alone. But again, now clients would come and a client would ask you, the reason why I'm buying is because I don't have the time to go and boil the vegetables. The long process of sorting it, it's tedious. Yeah. So a client would come and ask you, what else do you have? And they would be asking you, do you have like githeri? Because it's almost the same process, boiling githeri or beans or other pulses. It's almost the same process, and people are busy in Nairobi. People are making money, so people want to let their money work for them. So when clients were now asking about this, we said, why not? Because it's still in the same. It's still the same thing with what we are doing with the vegetables. So it's easy for the convenience purposes. And another thing is from experience. I love githeri. I've bought githeri before from those roadsides, but there is sometimes, I don't know, they add Panadol. There's some very dubious means they do to make it easier because they want to save on costs and all that. Yeah, so for us, we needed to do this to make it easier, make it convenient for people to access their githeri, but in a proper way, something that I would love to eat. We would not make something that I personally we would not be taking it.
Okay.
So it's something that is healthy, no additives, no preservatives. So you get it conveniently, but in the very healthiest form you can ever.
That's really nice.
Yeah, and actually, like, you know, let me just add on it. Like, most of the time you find, okay, now of late, like, you've seen a lot of conversations, people doubting the foods that they're eating. Like, things come up where the foods are being planted, and people are like, how safe are we? Because now people are after money. Like, people are after vegetables or fruits or things that will grow within 2 weeks. You know, for these vegetables, you have to wait for a period of 6 months. That is why I told you they grow in sequence. So this one, so it's like a circle rotation.
Yes.
So that is why we decided, even the githeri. So it took us a while to add them because our farmers have to plant the githeri, the beans, they have to plant the maize, they have to plant the groundnuts. So it is something, okay, it's a long process, but we are okay with going through that long process for our people to get healthy indigenous meals. Yeah, exactly.
All right, and as we continue the conversation, my co-host Marion is here.
Yes.
And Marion, you know, they are young people.
Of course
and you're
they are.
seeing what they are doing. I mean, can you imagine the kind of value that these particular products can bring, especially into also the nation, the young people who are coming up? So, from the conversation that we were having, what do you think young people can do in order for them at least to also do something in terms of value addition on mango, on even oranges, on anything else?
I think on a very light note, they need to eat more githeri. Especially if they are from nature's best, because these are the people who are really doing it right. Remember our conversation today, we have been talking about doing it right, getting it right from the start, and that is why nature's best is here to echo that point for us.
Yes.
Yes, Kelvin.
Yes, and I think I'll just
tell
myself ndio nijishikie tu hii saa hii. Yeah. So this is githeri,
mixed with groundnuts.
Mixed with groundnuts.
Sina slap.
Actually, it's the best. This is our best seller.
Okay.
On the pulses side.
Yeah. So they also make this and they preserve it, and as they've mentioned, they use CO2 cryo-freezing method in order for them to preserve this. So at the end of the day, you find a fresh and also organic product that you can also cook at home. So I think we've come to the end.
Of course we have, and it has been such a wonderful show. Thank you so much for keeping us company all the way from 2:30 p.m. to right now 4 p.m. on KTN Home and KTN Farmers TV. What was the best part of the show, Kelvin, for you?
The best, I think this was the best part.
I get to
but of course, I get to carry this, and I also get to just sample some of the products that they have. I think this was and they're young people. I mean, it's youth, so it was my favorite part of the show today.
And of course, for mine, I can say the same as well, because I've been the only lady for a while on this show, but today I'm so honored to be joined by our two ladies, as guests, and I hope we'll be seeing more of them coming on board.
All right, that's it from us, Fiona and Lean from Nature's Best, speaking to us about their products and also what they're doing in terms of working with smallholder farmers at home. Kama wewe ni farmer uko home and you'd also want to get in touch, just get in touch with them so that you can have a conversation and know how you can also get your products into the market, and also how you can value add, on your products
mostly
as well.
In Kisii and Migori.
Mostly in Kisii and Migori.
Yeah.
My name is Kelvin Nyakundi. You can also just tweet on or X.
Yes.
On X, do we tweet or we just
I think we should say we X.
Okay.
Is that allowed?
You can write us messages on X at Kelvin _Nyakundi and at...
And of course at Marion _ the Agri producer with the hashtag Farm Kenya Show, hashtag KTN Welcome Home. Na usikose kutag hawa rembo. Si umesikia social media zao?
Wacha waseme zao pia. Tumesahau zao.
You can start.
She can start.
Lean Odiwa on my social media platforms. And our company is Nature's Best. So you can find us on Nature's Best or Lean Odiwa. And
I'm Fiona Morema on Facebook, on Instagram, Fiona Kenya.
Okay, that's it from us. See you next week, same time, same place, right here. KTN Home and KTN Farmers TV.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa kulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kukulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu.